The year is 1888. The operating system of human civilization is about to undergo the most violent update in history. For thousands of years, humanity has been powered by fire, but a new invisible force has been discovered, and whoever controls the grid that delivers this force will become the absolute administrator of the modern world. This is not just a story about inventors and laboratories. This is a story about the most ruthless corporate war ever fought, a multi-billion-dollar battle of sabotage, stolen patents, and a horrific public relations hack involving the world's first electric chair. Welcome to the War of the Currents. At the center of this system crash is the incumbent king of innovation, Thomas Edison. Edison is the ultimate hardware hacker. He holds the master patent for the incandescent light bulb, and he has built an entire empire around a power delivery network called direct current, or DC. Edison's network is heavily backed by the ultimate financial titan of Wall Street, J.P. Morgan, who wants to monopolize the grid and charge a subscription fee for the sun. But there is a massive, fatal hardware limitation coded into Edison's DC network. Direct current cannot travel long distances without suffering a catastrophic voltage drop. To power a single city using Edison's hardware, you have to build a loud, toxic, coal-belching power plant every single square mile. The copper cables required are as thick as a man's arm. It is an incredibly inefficient, unscalable algorithm. Enter the disruptor, George Westinghouse. Westinghouse is a brilliant industrialist who looks at Edison's grid and realizes it is destined to crash. Westinghouse acquires the patents for a completely different network architecture called alternating current, or AC. This AC system is powered by the mathematical genius of Nikola Tesla, a severely eccentric, brilliant coder of reality who visualizes entire electrical grids in his mind before ever building a prototype. Tesla's algorithm is flawless. Alternating current can be stepped up to massive, terrifying voltages, transmitted across hundreds of miles of incredibly thin wire with almost zero data loss, and then safely stepped down for use in a residential home. It is the ultimate scalable network. When Thomas Edison looks at the data, he realizes his entire direct current empire is rapidly becoming obsolete. But instead of upgrading his hardware, Edison decides to hack the human interface. He launches the most vicious, unethical public relations malware campaign in corporate history. The objective is simple: convince the American public and the lawmakers that alternating current is a deadly, uncontrollable virus that will murder their families in their sleep. Edison's network begins staging gruesome public demonstrations. They hire neighborhood boys to steal stray dogs and cats off the streets of New York. In front of terrified reporters, Edison's technicians electrocute these animals using Westinghouse's AC generators, specifically tuning the voltage to ensure a horrifying, spectacular death. They want to permanently link the AC algorithm with the concept of lethal danger. But executing stray animals isn't enough to crash Westinghouse's market share. Edison needs a human payload to make the hack permanent. Behind closed doors, operating through a proxy named Harold Brown, Edison's network secretly finances and engineers a terrifying new piece of hardware for the New York penal system, the world's first electric chair. And Edison ensures with absolute malice that this execution device is specifically powered by a Westinghouse alternating current generator. The target for this lethal beta test is a convicted axe murderer named William Kemmler. Edison's logic is utterly ruthless. If he can get the state to execute a man using AC power, the public will forever associate George Westinghouse's technology with the Grim Reaper. He even tries to coin a new term for execution, suggesting that criminals shouldn't be hanged, they should be Westinghoused. It is a psychological system override designed to destroy a competitor. Realizing his entire company is about to be canceled by this lethal PR stunt, George Westinghouse makes a desperate play. He hires a brilliant 26-year-old lawyer named Paul Cravath. Cravath is tasked with an impossible mission: navigate a corrupted legal framework, stop the execution of William Kemmler, and save the alternating current network from being outlawed. Cravath is vastly outgunned. He isn't just fighting Edison, he is fighting the infinite wealth of J.P. Morgan, who is quietly maneuvering in the shadows to crush Westinghouse and take the AC patents for himself. The legal battles become a chaotic labyrinth of corporate espionage paid off, politicians, and stolen documents. Despite Cravath's brilliant legal hacking and desperate appeals all the way to the Supreme Court, the execution of William Kemmler goes forward in August 1890. It is an absolute horrifying disaster. The executioners do not understand the AC generator. It is improperly calibrated. They fail to kill Kemmler cleanly on the first electrical surge. They essentially roast the man alive in front of a room full of vomiting reporters. It is a gruesome, catastrophic hardware failure broadcast to the entire world. An attending physician famously notes that they could have done a better job with an axe. Edison believes this horrific spectacle has won him the war. But the sheer brutality of the execution creates a massive glitch in his plan. The public is horrified by the electric chair, but they realize the system was manipulated. The smear campaign fails to stop the undeniable mathematical efficiency of the AC algorithm. But Westinghouse is bleeding out. The massive legal fees and the brutal price war with Edison have pushed his company to the absolute brink of bankruptcy. Wall Street bankers refuse to lend him more money unless he gets rid of his most expensive liability, the massive royalty contract he owes to Nikola Tesla. If Westinghouse goes bankrupt, Edison and J.P. Morgan will swallow the AC patents, and the visionary network will be controlled by a monopoly. In one of the most unbelievable moments in the history of technology, George Westinghouse goes to Nikola Tesla and explains that the company is crashing. And Tesla, the master coder who only cares about seeing his algorithm light up the world, makes the ultimate open-source sacrifice. He tears up his own royalty contract. He voluntarily forfeits what would have been billions of dollars just to ensure that his alternating current system survives the corporate blockade. With the financial firewall secured, the superior algorithm finally takes over. Westinghouse and Tesla secure the ultimate contract to harness the raw power of Niagara Falls, building the world's first massive AC hydroelectric power plant. To prove their system is safe, they brilliantly illuminate the 1893 Chicago World's Fair with hundreds of thousands of bulbs, creating a blindingly beautiful, futuristic city of light that leaves a global audience in absolute awe. The DC grid collapses under the weight of its own limitations. J.P. Morgan, realizing the war is lost, forces Thomas Edison out of his own company, drops Edison's name to form General Electric, and quietly adopts the AC standard. The alternating current grid becomes the foundational operating system of the entire modern world, running through the walls of every home, hospital, and server farm on the planet today. The War of the Currents proves a brutal historical truth. You can launch all the smear campaigns you want. You can manipulate the media, bribe the politicians, and even build machines of death to scare the public. But in the end, the superior algorithm will always break through the firewall.